Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to another video. So today, as you will be able to tell from the title, I'm starting a reading vlog dedicated to Sarah J Maas's anyway, her new book. This year I want to start doing more vlogs where I dedicate them to one book and just read that one book in the vlog, but also talk about spoilers. So this vlog will have spoilers if you have not read this book. Save this video and come back later, or skip this video if you don't intend to read this book and you can watch my next video, or you don't have to. Just don't continue watching if you do not want to be spoiled. I just really love being able to watch someone else read a book and hear their thoughts while they were reading the book once I've finished the book myself. And I always have wished that more people will do like spoiler-filled dedicated vlogs. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. And I thought I would start with like one of the first most popular releases of this year. I know like everyone's reading this at the moment, and thankfully I've done a really good job so far of avoiding spoilers. I don't know anything. The only thing I've sort of seen people say is they like Nesta less in this book than they do in the original trilogy. I actually like Nesta. I know that's kind of an unpopular opinion and kind of a frowned upon opinion. I don't think she's a good character by any means. I'm not here to defend her at all. She is absolutely trash, but I think she's a really interesting and fascinating character, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this book. I really prefer reading characters more like her, who are always in the wrong, or almost always, and are unlikable, rather than your like Bella Swan sort of character, you know what I mean? I do also obviously like Cassian, and I'm interested to see where the series goes, because I'm curious. I'm really curious. So this literally just arrived in the mail today. It's Tuesday, I think it's the 23rd of Feb. So this arrived pretty late. Also, I do want to start off by saying that I'm not like a huge Sarah J Maas fan. None of her books ever make my favorite list, but there is something so fun and addictive about her series. There's something about them as well that reminds me of those books I read in high school, like Vampire Academy, City of Bones, like all those books I was obsessed with when I was in school. There's something about her books and the way she writes them that reminds me of them, but there's also like smut. I'm in the biggest reading mood at the moment, and I'm in like the exact mood for this. So I think I'm just gonna have so much fun, and I'm so here for it. So I think today's goal is gonna try and be 100 pages. I have to finish a reading vlog that I'm doing, which is my 5-star predictions reading vlog, which will be up by the time this video is up. So I would love to read 100 pages tonight, and I'm going to try and get this done by the weekend. We'll see if I'm being too ambitious with my reading or realistic. Okay, first update. I'm on chapter 9 at the moment, page 112. All that has happened so far is we've been introduced to like, so Nesta's been in a mood. I thought she always was, but apparently she's been in an extremely significant moody mood as of recently, and she's just like partying and sleeping with all these guys. I have to say that introduction chapter to Nesta and her current situation really reminded me of Bryce. Like I literally wrote a note that was like Bryce 2.0, and now she's been ordered to the House of Wind. Where I'm at, they've just like gotten there. Cassian is also trying to uncover what's happening with the 3 queens, like is it 3? I don't know, the human queens. I don't know how many of them there are. I forgot like how often Sarah J Maas writes females. The female. Or the male. It's just, I really don't like that. It's very, I don't know, like it's almost cringe, but not quite cringe is the word I want to use to describe it. But it does make me a little bit uncomfortable, although I do find I'm already adjusting to it, and you kind of just forgive it and move on. But also the same with mate. Mate drives me nuts because I'm Australian, so in my head every time I see like mate, her mate, his mate, I just go, g'day mate. Anyway. I feel like we're heading into the direction towards us getting to know Nesta, obviously, but I think what's going to happen is Sarah J Maas is going to try and write Nesta's story and her trauma in a way that's going to make us forgive Nesta's character and her character's actions up until now. I want Nesta to be an unapologetic bitch. Like, I just want that to be. And something I'm worried about is I feel like we're going to learn more about Nesta, learn more about her past, and have it laid out that's why she is the way she is, and for us to sort of forgive her because of her past trauma. Like, we're going to forgive her actions, all her shitty stuff that she did. And I don't want that to happen. I want to know more about her, but I also want her to continue being unlikable. Maybe she can have some growth and she can become a little bit more of a decent human being. But I feel like what's going to happen, and this is what I don't want to happen, is that that after we see all her past and her character growth happens, I think she's going to change into like a nice character, and I feel like she's going to end up resembling a lot of Sarah J Maas's other main female protagonists, and I really don't want that to be the case. I really hope that we just continue to get bitchy Nesta. Also, I have to say, Freya kind of annoyed me. Not extremely, but she does definitely give off the almost Goody Two-Shoe vibes. She is very high and mighty. I don't know, she just kind of annoyed me. I don't know, maybe it was, you know. Oh, and we also saw Lucian, which was cool. I really like Lucian. He's definitely one of my favorite characters from this series, maybe even my favorite. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. I'll let you know by the end of this video. We haven't seen Elaine yet. I really hope that we get to see her. I don't know what else I want to happen. Anyway, that's it for my first update. I just bought a new phone, so I've got the latest iPhone, and oh my god, this camera quality, I'm really amazed. Like, I was perfectly okay with my previous phone and I was still filming on that. Like, I've been filming on that since I started my channel, and it did a really great job. And I decided to upgrade because I could, and also my mum was having issues with her phone, so I said I would upgrade and give her my old phone because my old phone was much better than the one she had. And I can't believe this phone. I'm like never gonna buy a proper camera for my channel. Like, I'm just gonna use my phone because like this camera quality, and like it's so much wider, the screen space, than it was. Like, usually I feel like it ended here, or it would zoom in like whenever I press camera. Anyway, that was a tangent. Hopefully you can see the improvement because the previous clips in this vlog were filmed on my old phone. Anyway, let me give you an update. I'm 260 pages in. I'm in the middle of chapter 24. We've had a bit happened. We've had the first few smut scenes. Look, I think they happened too early, to be completely honest. I'll talk about them more in a second. We've had Elaine showed up a couple of times, and we've had the group sort of talk about the cauldron and what's her name? Blaren? The human queen that turned into an old hag. Faye, and is now trying to trace down the cauldron. We found out all about that. We've learnt a bit more about Cassian and his mother. I really liked hearing more about his backstory in particular, and we've just had a lot more training. I think where I'm just kind of like with this book at the moment is it feels very same to Sarah J Maas's other books. Like, there's training with the girl, like learning how to train and having the guy love interest train her. I didn't really like how the smut scenes played out, like the whole they owe each other debts or something. Like, I found that a bit weird. Like, why? And I really liked because we started getting to know Cassian and Nesta. Like, they were starting to get to know each other on really personal levels, and they were sharing their history with one another. I really liked that, and I kind of wish we could continue with that more before we dived into the other stuff, the smutty stuff. The other thing I would say is I wish there was more of a plot. Like, there's that cauldron thing happening in the background, but what I feel like is happening is the cauldron plot and the plot with the human queens, it's all happening with the side characters, and all the stuff that's happening in the plot and what's moving the story forward is happening off page, and I don't like that. I want it to be on page. I guess that this is more of a character focused story, and it's really being about Nesta overcoming her trauma. It just feels at this stage very same to her other books, which, to be completely honest, I kind of expected, so I don't mind too much. It's not like impacting my reading to the point where I don't want to pick up this book. I'm finding it quite a comforting read, especially since I'm so familiar with Sarah J Maas's sort of storytelling, but I would really appreciate something different and a new direction of story, because that would make me really hooked. It's not that I'm not hooked at the moment, but if that was the case, if it was a new storyline, then I think this would be unputdownable for me. Oh, also another thing that happened, Freya announced to the group that she is pregnant, so that was kind of cute. But this does so far really feel like a chord. What's the novella called? I can't even remember. A Court of Frost and Starlight. It does so far really feel like part 2 to that, hoping that we get a pickup in plot. Okay, I'm 40, I'm on chapter 42, page 450 something. It's time to admit I'm not liking this. I'm sad about it. I was really looking forward to Nesta's story, like I genuinely was, and Cassian, but there is more smut in this than there is anything else. Like, it's just smut scene after smut scene, and then we have like training in the mix, and then we have tiny, like the shortest chapters in these books are like where plot is actually happening. I get that they're like friends with benefits and everything, but there's just so much smut. Like, this book is 700 pages. I've read 450 something already. There needs to be more plot. There needs to be more happening. The bit I just finished reading, we were learning about Nesta's powers and how she made these weapons magical weapons, and no one's had the capabilities to make magical weapons in like 1,000 years or something. And now they're like trying to decide whether to share that information with Nesta about her powers or to keep it from her, because they're worried that she could end up using her abilities against them. What is really disappointing me about this book is I'm not invested like I have been in previous Sarah J Maas's books. Even though none of her books have ever end up being all-time favorites of mine, I think she has in the past done a really great job at making you invested with the characters, but also care about them and worry about their safety, because the stakes are so high. I don't feel the stakes in this at all. They're non-existent in my opinion. I think every investment in these characters has not been developed or built in this book. It was built in previous books, which makes this book just lack so greatly. It's lacking a lot in a lot of ways. It's sitting at about a 2. I'm really hoping something happens. I keep sort of putting off updating you guys because I'm waiting for more to say other than
we just had another smutty scene.
Because that's literally all this book is. I'm not even liking Cassian in here that much. I used to really like Cassian and he just seems boring in here. One thing I will give credit to, and something that I do really see as an improvement in her writing, is she's not as repetitive as she has been in the past. In the past, I feel like Sarah J Maas's writing has been very, very repetitive to an unnecessary degree on particular things. In the past, there was the clothing. I can remember reading Crescent City and there was a huge focus on the characters like underwear, and in here there's not that, which I'm liking. I just wish there was more plot and stuff going on. It bothers me as well that I feel like Nesta isn't involved in the plot. Even Cassian hasn't really been that involved in the plot. His involvement extends to him meeting up with the other characters like Grease and them telling him what is happening plot-wise off the page. And that's it. And that's poor. For a fantasy book, this book is marketed as a fantasy book. That is poor. If this was straight up like romance with smut, then I would not be complaining as much. But this book is marketed wrong, in my opinion. I think I'm going to try and push through and finish this today. I have that much left. Wish me luck. I'm ready for this to be over. I really hope something interesting happens. I really want Nesta to start learning about her powers. I think that would be so interesting. Okay, so I finished the book and I also lost the book. I don't know what I did with it. I finished it a few days ago. I didn't mean to take as many days as I did, but I wanted to take a couple of days just to sort of think about it, look over reviews and other people's videos, because I was really disappointed and I just kind of wanted to think, like, was I being too critical of it? I promise I didn't throw it away. I just put it down somewhere and I don't know where. So hopefully I find it by the time my wrap up goes up. Well, I need to film that and it'll be in there, otherwise RIP. My final rating is 2 stars. What do I say about this book? I was thinking about it and I think a lot of the people who would have had a lot of the same criticisms as me, or like maybe criticized it as harshly as I did for the things I did, probably haven't read this far in the series. Most people who have read this absolutely love this. I've made it very clear that I think there's way too much smut, so I'm not gonna say that again. My favorite part of this book was definitely at the end. After Nesta told Freya about the danger of her pregnancy and Cassie and Nesta were hiking through the mountains, like that was like my favorite part. that seems to be quite a popular opinion. A lot of people seem to really like that part, and like everything that happened afterwards as well, like with the Valkyries and all that, was so good, and I really loved that. I don't know why, but for some reason I was expecting Gwen to like betray Nesta or something. The whole time I was so sus of her, like she was just too quiet, too nice, too mousy, and I just really thought we were going to get a villain out of her in some way. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, we didn't. And I did really like Nesta's growth and how she had her own friendship group. My problem with the character development in particular was I feel like we got chunks of like spurts of character development and then we got nothing. Like it wasn't consistent. And I feel like most of Nesta's character development happened towards the end after that like mountain hike bit. Particularly like that was the start. When I went into this book, I remember saying how concerned I was, how Sarah J. Maas was going to do the character development and make it in a way that like forgives Nesta's past actions or also like make her no longer a bitch. I do like the way all her character development went down, and I think she's going to still be like Nesta and she's not going to have a huge change in personality, although I'm guessing she's going to be a bit more nicer person from now on. When I first finished the book, what I was most like pissed off about and what annoys me the most is how this book is marketed as a fantasy book, because it's just so lacking in fantasy. I've talked about its lack of plot. I think also lack of like everything else that you need in a fantasy book. World building, magic. I really don't like how magic's done as well. Sarah J. Maas tends to do this thing where she will make her protagonist have like the next powerful magic. Like they will just get the next powerful magic, and then whatever villain or whatever problem has arisen in the book, the magic that the protagonist is given solves that issue. Like that's what we saw happen with Nesta's ability in here, and it's something we've seen happen in the past, and I'm sure it's going to be something that she does again, and is a very easy way out of all conflict, and I just don't like it. From a fantasy standpoint, this book is bad, and what annoys me most is like we know it's going to win the Goodreads Choice Award of the Year, I think for 2021, because Sarah J. Maas just always wins. As a romance, I guess this is good. Like I didn't personally love it, it's not my like cup of tea, but I see the appeal and why people love it. I do think with Sarah J. Maas's latest books that she spends more time developing the romance and the characters' sex scenes than anything else. Thinking back to Throne of Glass, I haven't read it in years and years, but that had a lot more story to it and character building, and it had a lot more outside of the romance. And I think because people love her romance, and I feel like her romance is often what people talk about and like fawned over, I think she just kind of now milks that, and I'm disappointed. I don't like that much romance, so I mean it's a personal preference. So yeah, that's it for my thoughts and mini review, I guess. Let me know what you guys thought of it if you read it. I feel like most people loved this. Also, when I was reading reviews, apparently there was originally going to be like a polyamorous relationship between Cassian, Az, and Nesta. I want to know why that was cut. Like, anyway, I would be very interested to hear your thoughts, so let me know what you thought, and thank you so much for watching. As always, if you've made it this far, leave me the fairy emoji or one of the fairy emojis. Thank you again. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're currently reading, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!